so that you can see us better.
Hello, Julie Chance with Action Strategies by Design, and I am really excited today to be here with Brent and Juan Reaves. Brent and Juan own Smokey John's Barbecue, and that's located in the near Love Field in Dallas. But if you're in the Dallas Metroplex and that's a little bit too far of a drive for you, you're in luck because they've got some things going on that we'll talk about in terms of making it more convenient for you right now. We'll talk about that in a minute. Our topic today is resilient leadership. And if you look up resilient leadership in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Juan and Brent. They're probably the most resilient leaders that I know. So guys, this isn't the first storm you've had to navigate. And I use the word navigate really purposefully right here because weather just isn't how you've approached it. So tell me a little bit about that first storm.
So the first storm was definitely caught us off guard. We were in the middle of our record-breaking year. Sales were truly going through the roof. And all of a sudden, we had a situation where our smoker caught on fire and ended up burning up the restaurant, or at least the kitchen, and so badly that the smoke damage caused a total loss for us at the restaurant.
Right.
And then at that point, we were 2 weeks away from the State Fair of Texas, and now our production facility had been destroyed.
Our production facility and our lifeline.
Oh, and our lifeline.
So basically, all of our income stream came to a screeching halt when we had that fire in 2017. And then, of course, the following 2 weeks, we had the fair started. And during the fair, we had one of the biggest, most extravagant events that we had catered for Carnival Cruise Lines, featuring Guy Fieri. Mm-hmm. And so we had to do that again without being in our own kitchen. And then we ended up shooting a TV show. So we had about a month there where
a national
television show for a cooking channel. So yeah, we had a crazy month there. And then when all that kind of died down, we had to figure out how to get back. If we're going to come back to our same location, we're going to get a new location. We had a lot of decisions on our plate, and we were trying to keep all of our staff employed as well. So there's a lot going on, and it was a challenge.
Oh yeah,
definitely wasn't anything we would have ever expected or planned, but we got together, we prayed about it, and went to work.
That's right.
And so you guys were out of the restaurant for about 18 months, is that right?
16
16 months. Yeah. Okay, almost a year and a half, right?
Almost a year and a half, yeah. But we stayed open. We had a couple of kitchens that we were using to continue our catering. We couldn't cater the full extent of our normal business, but we kept our key clients, and some of our bigger events, we were able to maintain those.
Okay, so you basically kept the business alive, you doing catering out of a couple of.
And we spent a lot of time. So the inside story is we had been just having a record year, and Brent and I were super busy, and I kept telling him we need to have a retreat. We need to take a weekend and just sit down, because he had finished the 10,000 small businesses with Goldman Sachs. I had done the Emerging Leaders Program. We both learned all these great strategies, and we were putting some of them in place, but we really needed some time to figure out and chart out. We knew what the goal was. We needed the individual steps. And so I kept saying we should have a retreat. He agreed. It wasn't that he didn't agree. We just never made the time. So the fire made the time for us.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens, right? We get pushed into doing what we need to do.
Yeah.
So what was your initial reaction coming back to now? What was your initial reaction when you realized you were going to have to close the dining room? That your catering was probably not gonna be there. What's your initial reaction?
It was the same as fire. The funny thing, I felt like it was a dress rehearsal for the next crisis. The fire was for us, because our initial reaction was like, okay, well, I guess we've got to do what we always do, is go back and connect with our people.
Yeah.
That's you know, and the beautiful thing about, we talked about this before, is we knew where our market is. Our market actually is at home now.
Yep.
So at least we've got that problem solved. Now we just have to figure out, how do we get our product in their hands?
And how do we stay connected? Because one of the things that none of us knew when this all started was, you know, because everything's come out and the news changes weekly.
Right.
So in the beginning, I actually took off to go to Colorado to go skiing,
Right.
and then found out the ski resorts were closed and everything was shut down, and came back. And next thing you know, instead of doing that, we were trying to figure out how to keep open. But one of the things we realized is that we needed to stay connected to our people and pay attention to what was going on. Because like I said, we didn't know how exactly everything was going to be affected. We didn't know restaurants were going to be considered essential businesses.
Right.
It makes sense, but we didn't presume that. So we kind of started thinking about every aspect of what could affect us.
Okay. And so tell me a little, so have you ever thought, let me ask you this, have you ever thought about, did it ever occur to you or in either of these situations of just saying, you know, we've had enough, we're done, we can't keep going?
No.
I think the question comes to mind, like, are you going to keep going? But I don't think the answer was ever.
No, in my mind, I never thought that we were going to quit.
No.
In my mind, the thought was, do we stay in the location that we were in, or is this a divine appointment to move somewhere else? Yeah. But those were the things. In my mind, I never thought this is over. I just felt like we had too much momentum and we had too many good things going for this to be the end of Smokey John's.
But we did get that question a lot. A lot of people would ask us, are you guys going to be able to? And for us, the hard part was, I think we both felt like, yes, we will figure it out and God's going to make a way, but we didn't have the answer.
No,
we didn't know how.
We had no idea how.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about how important it was to stay in touch with your people. I'm assuming both your customers and your team.
Absolutely.
Tell me some of the ways that you've done that, because one of the things I'm seeing a lot of people doing, business owners, business leaders doing a lot of creative things, but they're not doing a good job, many of them, of letting people know about it. So what are some of the things you've done?
I think the main thing as far as with our team members is trying to educate them on all the changes that are needed to be made right now, and what their options are.
Right.
So my wife handles a lot of the HR, and so she's been researching, because as Juan was saying earlier, the things are changing so rapidly.
Right.
You know, the government is allowing new different programs for our team members. So we're trying to keep them informed on their options, as well as letting them know that we're not going to lay down. We want them to get full-time hours. And so for us, Juan and I, it's like, okay, we've got to create the opportunities to make sure you guys are working full-time. And when they see that, when they see our energy behind it, it's like it gives them a boost of energy. So they work harder.
and some confidence, because, you know, we have people that are going home at night. They're worried just like everyone else.
Right.
Am I going to have a job? And one of the things we try to do is we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you have a job. And so the way we've tried to stay connected is, you know, we connect with our folks, keep them in the loop of what's going on, of the rest of all the changes. And then we've kind of done two things to really connect to our community. One is we use social media quite a bit, and we've tried to really grow our business. And that's one aspect of how we've grown our business, is through our active social media. And one of the things we started right after this got going was a nightly update. And so we try to connect with our folks every night for, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 45 minutes, depends on what's going on. But we try to connect and let them know what we're up to, that we're open, that we're still here, and then we've created some programs. And probably the thing that's been really, really big for us is the neighborhood delivery program.
Oh, that's been huge.
Tell me about that.
So the neighborhood delivery program, the NDP. It allows us to actually reach into some of the suburban areas that aren't close to our restaurant location. So we actually can go out to areas like DeSoto and Frisco and Grand Prairie.
And
Now Mesquite.
yeah, we just added Mesquite.
Yeah.
And the idea behind it is we know that where our business is a lot of people come to this area to work.
Right.
We're close to the hospitals, we're close to the airports, we're close to large job centers. But that means people actually live all over the Metroplex. Right. So we have people that are fans of our restaurant that only eat with us at lunchtime, or their family members have never had our food. In fact, we did the first week of the delivery program. We went out to this one lady. She was so excited because she's been eating with us. She tells everybody, all of her family, how great the food is, but they live in Plano. And so they are not in our area in the evenings, and we close at 7 o'clock. So dinner's not really an option. So we delivered to her in Plano, and it was a surprise for her and for all of her family. And I think that's another way we've really tried to stay connected, because we've always been aware that we got people from the airport or from the hospitals that didn't live in the area, and now we're getting a chance to see where that reach really falls, because we're going to these different areas.
And the other cool thing about what we're also doing that makes the customers feel comfortable is, one, source out some tamper-proof bags. So these bags are sealed so that they can't be opened. So when people receive these packages, even on their doorstep, they feel like this is incredibly safe, and it's safe, and they feel like we've taken an extra step to think about their well-being. So now they're supporting a company that's really thinking about them, and they can really get behind it.
Right. Yeah, that's all of our third-party delivery. All of the deliveries that we're doing, we're using these tamper bags, and it's just an extra layer of knowing that this has been, once it's completed, it's gone in the bag, and it's until it gets to you, no one's touching your food or getting close to it. So yeah, we think it's a nice little extra precaution.
Awesome. So I had the opportunity to take part in the neighborhood delivery program, and it was awesome. The food is addictive, and so is the Facebook Live program.
Cool.
Or your Facebook Live updates and sessions. I sit on there, I got on there, and I'm like, okay, why am I sitting here listening to this? And I finally realized why. It's because there's a huge connection between positive emotions and the ability to be resilient.
Oh, wow.
And so one of the things I think you guys are really doing through that is you're helping people experience positive emotions.
Wow.
So it's really powerful, and you've got quite a following going with that.
Yeah, we've been blessed. I mean, I think the cool thing is we try to be very authentic and genuine.
Right.
And we hope that that's what comes across. Our parents were like that. That's what made the restaurant grow, was people
Absolutely.
felt welcome to come in, and then they felt like they were part of the family.
Right.
So what everything Juan and I do, we want you to watch Facebook Live, and we want you to feel like you're a Reaves.
Yeah, you're part of the family. You're on the SJ team.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, I think you're doing a great job of capturing that. So how did you come up with the neighborhood delivery idea?
Actually, Brent came in one day and said, "Hey, man, I think we got to start delivering food to the people." And I was like, "Didn't I tell you about this last week?"
We had the same
He's
thought.
like, "No, that's when I was in the shower. I was thinking we got to start delivering, because if we can, it's a pretty simple thought, right? It's, can we get a group of people to order enough food that makes it worth our time to go deliver, and then do it for free?"
Right.
So it's kind of a win-win. And so we kind of agreed on it. Then we sat down and mapped out the areas and picked the days and decided to go for it. And we even went so far as to kind of make a little wager of how many we could get the first week.
Yeah, we did.
And we definitely undersold our reach.
So undersold, and it was my fault.
And what's the?
It doesn't matter, because he undersold it, but I did too.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
it doesn't matter. He thought we'd get like 20 deliveries the first week. I thought we might get 30, just kind of figuring, maybe if we got 6 or 8 in a couple of places and 4 of the other ones. And the first week we did like 64 deliveries.
Right.
Wow, 64.
In
64.
4 days, yeah, it was great.
So basically, just to give you some value to that, it basically replaced a day of sales.
Yeah.
A day and a half of sales, pretty much. Yeah. So that's what we were looking for.
And that's what we need, and it got us going. And we've had some fortune of doing some things with the Mavericks and some other people that have gotten us some media attention. And that's made a big difference as well. A lot of people, one, just learning about us, two, finding out there's still people that saw some of the stories that have been on the news and learned that we were back open. They didn't know that we recovered from the fire. Yeah. And then so that's been a big boost as well to keep the day-to-day flow going.
So just two more questions. One is, what do you want your customers to know?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think one of the things, I'll take one.
Okay.
If you'll take one. Yeah. One of the things I think we want them to know that we're like them. We're learning every day what the challenges are. We're battling through them, and we're in it with them. And we want them to know that, we understand some people have lost their jobs. We're trying to be one of those places where the people don't lose their jobs, and we understand this is a difficult time, but we'll hang in there with them, and whatever if we can be of help, we'll be of help when we can. And I think we just want to relate to let them know that we're not just over here doing fine. We're battling as well.
Yeah. Okay. I think one of the things that I want our customers to know is that we truly appreciate every purchase.
Yep.
And not because of the crisis. We appreciate it before the crisis. We really do understand that every single person that walks through this door is actually taking care of our lifestyle and our livelihood. We truly understand that. And that's why we take so much care and time into pouring back into them.
Absolutely.
And hopefully they feel that you're not, when you buy a chopped beef sandwich or some ribs from Smokey John's, we want to know you truly are impacting us.
Right. And we know you have choices.
Yeah, you can go anywhere.
Thousands of places to eat in Dallas. And there's thousands of great places. And there's good barbecue all over Dallas. So there's a lot of choices, and we respect the fact that through the course of your day, you've chosen to dine with us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, great. And the last question is, what do you want other business owners and leaders to know? What would you like to say to them?
For me, I would say that there always is a way, that creativity can make a way. I think sometimes we feel hopeless, and feeling hopeless will stifle creativity. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think you have a choice too.
Yeah.
I think the choice is to buy what someone's selling you.
Right.
But if you don't like what they're selling you, you need to create your own.
Absolutely.
And figure it out. And I think one of the things and that's easy to say, but I think the baseline of what our survival, because when we had the fire, we made one commitment to stay connected.
Yeah. We
did some Facebook things. We did some other things. We let people know when we were in the community. We hired, even while we were down, we hired a person to run our social media because we knew that was one way to stay connected. If you can stay connected to your people in the good times, they'll be with you in the bad times.
Yeah.
And I think we've experienced that. Now we're going on a second turn with that. And I think I would encourage really connect with your customers. Don't see everyone as a transaction as much as you see them as a part of adding another player to the team.
Right.
And that's really what we try to do.
Because people genuinely want to help. They actually do. Like we saw it in 9/11 when those firefighters were risking their lives. Well, then the appreciation that the country had, I mean, it opened my eyes even to our first responders here in Dallas.
Absolutely.
We're thanking them for their service. All these guys that they didn't have anything to do with the rescues in New York.
Right.
But however, it just makes you appreciate that service. And I think right now the appreciation of the hospitality industry is alive right now.
Absolutely.
And I think business owners, if they can just connect, they have the opportunity to reap from people who really want to support them.
Yeah, I would tell every business owner, when you have someone, whatever it is, thank them for their support.
Absolutely.
And not just say thank you, but say thank you for your support.
Yes.
Because they are really supporting us. They are part of our keeping the lights on. They're part of our staff keeping their water on. And it's like I try my best, especially in this time, to say thank you for your support. Because I think as a business owner, when you make that extra statement, it shows the connection.
Yeah.
And then people feel good about where they just spent their money, where they just purchased their food because they're supporting some real live people, not, some rich guy that's sitting over just as an investment, but hardworking folks.
Yeah, and I think also at this time, and we've kind of been, we've got some other things to talk about after this. Is the other thing is, I think you also have to give.
Absolutely.
It's something powerful in giving. Even when you're in need, giving seems to open doors for you.
We learned that from our dad.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's the most generous person I've ever known.
Me too.
And the one thing he always told us is you can't outgive God.
No.
And he put that to the test quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And he was always proven right.
And I think we're his result.
Yeah.
It sounds like he was a great role model.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal.
So can people find out about what you've got going on? Where's the best place for people to keep up with what's going on and what you're offering?
So many areas. They can come to the website.
Website is going to have basic information.
And
up to
you
the
got
minute.
the NDP on there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to update it because we just added
Nice.
a new one. I got to put the new one. Website's always a good start for basic information.
Right.
But up to the minute, it's going to be social media, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
We don't do a ton with Twitter.
No.
That platform's not exactly the best way for us to communicate, but Instagram, Facebook,
SmokeyJohns.com.
SmokeyJohns.com.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the best ways.
And then at Smokey John's BBQ.
Right.
And Twitter and in Instagram as well.
Right.
Okay. Well,
And you can always call.
Yeah.
We're here.
We do have a phone number as well.
Phone number here, yeah. So you can always call us. Someone here will know what's going on, or they'll get one of us. But yeah, we try to keep the team updated. Sometimes we make up new ideas right
So true.
at the spur of the moment.
So true.
Forget to tell the team.
Sometimes you're a step or two ahead of the communication.
Every now and
Absolutely.
then.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking time to talk with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all of the inspiration and positivity that you're communicating and giving to the community right now.
Well, I want to tell you also, Julie, thank you so much for what you've done for us through 10KSB, and just the knowledge and wisdom that you shared with me that impacted both of us, that we utilize.
Absolutely.
And we kind of redefined the company around some of the things that you taught, and we appreciate that.
And we thank you for your support. I mean,
Absolutely.
On Facebook, on ordering food, everything. We appreciate all the positive. We feel like you put a lot of positive energy out there as well.
That's right.
Well, I don't think we can have too much positivity right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.